Gilles Deleuze was a 20th century French philosopher known for his complex ideas about reality, identity, and politics. His work combined philosophy, literature, science, and art to create new ways of thinking about how people experience the world. He rejected fixed categories and instead focused on change, movement, and relationships. Deleuze's ideas remain highly controversial. Some praise him for breaking free from traditional philosophy, while others criticize him for being too abstract, difficult to understand, or disconnected from real-world issues. One of Gilles Deleuze's most important ideas is rhizomes and anti-hierarchy, which challenges traditional ways of organizing knowledge and power. He argued that most people think in structured hierarchies, like trees with clear roots and branches, but real knowledge and relationships are more like rhizomes, underground networks that spread in unpredictable ways. This idea is controversial because it rejects the structured ways people are taught to think. Critics argue that without clear categories, understanding the world becomes chaotic. Others believe that Deleuze's rejection of hierarchy can lead to unrealistic ideas about how society and knowledge actually function. Deleuze's concept of difference and repetition challenges the idea that learning and identity are based on repeating the same patterns. He argued that true understanding comes from difference, not sameness, and that repetition should not mean copying, but rather transforming and evolving. According to Deleuze, real thought should break away from established norms and create something new each time. This idea is controversial because it opposes the way most education and philosophy operate. Critics argue that Deleuze's theory is too vague and does not offer clear ways to apply it. Others believe that constantly seeking difference over stability can lead to confusion and a lack of meaningful progress. Deleuze's idea of bodies without organs describes how people should resist being shaped by rigid structures. He borrowed this term from literature and used it to describe a way of thinking beyond fixed identities and societal expectations. According to Deleuze, people should not accept predefined roles, but should instead experiment with new ways of existing. This idea is controversial because it questions traditional ideas of selfhood and identity. Critics argue that without structure, personal identity loses meaning. Others believe that Deleuze's theory ignores the importance of stability and relationships in human development. Deleuze's theory of capitalism and schizophrenia, developed with Félix Guattari, describes how modern society pushes people toward fragmented and unstable identities. He argued that capitalism encourages constant change and desire while also demanding control and conformity. According to Deleuze, this contradiction creates a kind of psychological tension, similar to schizophrenia, where people are pulled in different directions at once. This idea is controversial because it connects mental illness to economic systems in a way that some see as problematic. Critics argue that comparing capitalism to schizophrenia oversimplifies both issues. Others believe that Deleuze's analysis is too abstract and does not offer clear solutions. One of the most debated aspects of Deleuze's work is his influence on postmodernism and leftist activism. His rejection of fixed categories and his focus on fluid identities have influenced many activists, particularly in movements related to gender, politics, and culture. His work has been used to challenge traditional institutions and promote new ways of thinking about power. This idea is controversial because it raises questions about whether his philosophy helps create progress or simply destabilizes existing structures. Critics argue that Deleuze's influence encourages a rejection of order and rational debate. Others believe that his ideas have been misused, leading to extreme interpretations that go beyond what he originally intended.